Sup everyone, I'm your female otaku here with Madison the Emoto, and we are here to review Black Butler Book of Atlantic. And oh my gosh, I still can't believe that we actually saw it.
That was thebomb.com.
Yes, for real, oh my goodness. Before we get into our fangirly selves, which don't worry, we are gonna review, but then just a disclaimer, we're gonna be fangirling.
Yeah,
a lot.
I'm not apologizing for it.
Can't help it. It's Black freaking Butler. Okay.
Okay, all right, we have an understanding. All right, good, okay.
So how this review is going to work is that the first half, or like maybe the majority of it, not too sure how it's going to play out, but first we're going to make it spoiler free, and then in the middle of or wherever I will say like, hey, so the rest will be spoilers. So if you just want to hear one certain part, then just click on the timestamp in the description. It'll take you to either the spoiler free part or just the spoiler part. So yeah, let's go with the spoiler free part. So Book of Atlantic is about CL and Sebastian. They have a new mission to go see what's going on with this organization over at this
Phoenix. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
If you saw the movie, you know what we're talking about. To go investigate this organization on the ship and on the ship just so happens to be Lizzie. She's on the ship.
Literally it's like the most coincidental thing ever because all their little friends are on the ship. All the characters that we've grown to love throughout the past seasons.
Except for Prince Soma. He wasn't there.
Tragic. But we had freaking Snake was there, and Grell was there, and Ronald Knox. We got to expand more upon Ronald Knox.
Yeah.
So cute, such a cutie.
So just in case, for those of you who may have forgotten or perhaps are confused with the timeline of Black Butler, I'm gonna just say this quickly. You know, the second half, basically after the whole Prince Soma thing from season 1, and all of season 2 is anime original, and then with Book of Circus, that is the legit continuation, as is Book of Murder. Make sure you watch Book of Murder before you watch Book of Atlantic. And Book of Murder is a 2-part OVA. I think they're like 30 minutes each. Definitely have to watch that before watching Book of Atlantic.
And we don't talk about season 2 because it never happened.
What's season 2?
I don't know. What is it? So we see a bunch of like our old favorite characters, and we expand upon more on other people's lives. Like Lizzie, we see her family, which I love, and I wanted them to have more screen time because they're awesome, like crazy awesome. They're like swordsmen and badass, and I love it so much. Like, I honestly really didn't like Lizzie ever since the first day I met the girl. I hated her. Like, she was so irritating, and I just did not. I did not like her.
Same.
And I can finally say, after all the stuff Black Butler has put out, I love Lizzie. After this movie, I can honestly say she's bae. I love her. She's so strong. I can't. Oh, so great.
There's a lot of things that Book of Atlantic does that really helps the overall story of Black Butler, mainly with expanding, you know, characterizing said characters that we've grown to love. Like, who are they? What makes them them? And we've had bits and pieces of information brought out to us, like, for example, you know, Sebastian and CL's relationship.
Yeah, you should always see flashbacks of CL.
Yeah, really short, you know, like over in, like, you know, Book of Circus, we saw a slight hint of demon form of, you know, Sebastian and stuff. Well, we get to expand more upon that, and that, oh man, we needed that. That was fantastic. I loved it. Soundtrack-wise,
not memorable. Not very memorable.
I really can't recall a track.
It's not, you know, they play the classic music, you know, because it's like 18th, 19th century England, so they're playing like classical music typically, and it's not like dubstep or like rock and roll, like nothing really memorable, so nothing to really comment about the soundtrack. I mean, it went with the movie, so like it suited all the moods. But, you know, it's pretty average, basically.
Yeah. Animation-wise, it's half and half, really. Because you do have the same art style from the, you know, series. It doesn't improve on the art style or anything. The animation-wise, like when it came to, you know, obviously people moving,
it wasn't phenomenal. Like, anytime they saw a person, like when it was a bunch of people, they didn't want to animate all that. They just CGI'd it poorly.
Yeah, very poor CGI.
And then sometimes when they weren't moving, the faces would drop, like if it was a distance shot.
Yeah, or duller colors and stuff.
The only time animation was really, you know, then in regular scenes they looked average. The only time I could say the animation picked up a little bit was when it got fluid, like more fluid during the action-y scenes.
Yeah, and there's a lot of action scenes.
Yeah, like
surprisingly,
a lot, and they were so good.
Yeah, those looked pretty awesome. So I'm pretty sure that they were kind of just really weighing their options here with their budget and stuff. It's all like, okay, what can we sacrifice and what should we like save? Like what's gonna be like the big stuff here?
Yeah, but not really like breathtaking, like, oh, amazing. Like, nothing like that, you know?
Yeah. I thought the movie was a good length. I didn't think it was too long and stuff, especially since, you know, we had important characterization.
And it had a good balance of like comedy, action, and seriousness. You know, like the comedy was on point.
Oh,
comedy was hilarious. Like they like parody like American stuff, and it's just so funny.
Which, by the way, even though we did watch the English dub, a lot of things that happen in the English dub is just will be the same in the sub because it's animated that way. So you'll understand what we're talking about.
Yeah. Like it's not like they said an American reference that only the dub would say. Like they did a thing that happened,
a specific animated scene.
Yeah,
like
that happens in an American movie, and they do it in the sub as well. It's so funny. But yeah, and I think the main reason was because, you know, first of all, Sebastian and Ciel's relationship, while it is serious, it's hilarious at the same time because it's like this little boy is telling a demon what to do, and the demon's a smug bastard. Like, come on. Like, that's hilarious. And, you know, then of course, you can't tell me that a movie's not going to be funny if Grell's in it. There's never a dull moment. Like, he is my best friend. I love him so much. He is like, everything he says, I say, because he's like in love with all pretty men, and I'm like, same. So I love him so much.
Exactly.
So funny. So great.
Girl just slays with his
really.
scythe. He slays with a scythe and he slays.
Yes,
as, like,
he does.
He likes to call himself a woman. So yeah. Oh my gosh, girl.
The main cause for most of the action in the movie is the zombies, which, you know, you would know if you saw the trailer. And they're pretty cool because there's something about them that's a bit different than other zombies. But they're just, if you know me, I love the zombie genre. Like, I will watch any zombie movie. They're so interesting. I love them to death. So the zombies are a pretty interesting aspect, and you know, you kind of just want them all to go.
Okay, that's pretty much all for the spoiler-free section. I guess how we'll end it is basically, how would you rate it?
Oh, I hate to sound like annoying, but it's totally like a 9 out of 10. Like, I just loved it so much, but like it has like those animation flaws.
Yeah, exactly. It does have, the flaws are jarring, especially when it came to the animation.
It kind of ruined the mood sometimes.
We also have a few other complaints as well that we will explain more in the spoiler section, but I personally would give it an 8 out of 10. That's mainly because of entertainment reasons. The jokes were just so funny, and Grell, man, oh my god, Grell. So
my queen.
Yes.
Okay. So I will give you now 5 seconds to click out. I know I held up 10, but 5 seconds to click out of this video so that you will remain spoiler free and not see all of our confessions in the movie. Ready? Alright, you're lost. You can't be complaining now that you got spoiled if you still stayed when you knew you shouldn't. Okay, so now let's get real.
Let's get nerdy. Because she put on the glasses, so I'm just like, let's get nerdy. The main thing that sticks out to me, spoiler-wise, is with Lizzie, because again, like we mentioned, I don't know if you skipped over to the spoiler-free section or not, but we just mentioned how we did not like Lizzie. We thought she was annoying and stuff. Like, I didn't hate her, but she was just really irritating.
You didn't hate her, but I hated her.
She was just so irritating. But within this movie, she wasn't irritating whatsoever, and she got a really, like, interesting backstory and, like, characterization little scene here. The only problem is that when that scene is over,
You don't see her again.
You don't see her again until like the end, just to like,
yeah,
you know,
like
say, see you, hi, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so basically when it comes to Lizzie and her family, we find out, like I said before, they're like master swordsmen and they're like knights and stuff, and that's like their family thing. And they're like awesome during this like zombie apocalypse, like basically like the zombie thing. And they're like slicing heads. They don't need Sebastian's help because like you know, like CL asked Sebastian to help escort them, and they're like, do you doubt our swordsmanship? And they like went ham. It was great. But then we didn't see him. They only had like a 5-minute, maybe less than that
I would
scene.
say less.
And like Lizzie had a little more screen time than her family, but in the grand scheme of the movie, not that much. Like, yeah.
A good portion of the movie was actually in that one scene in like the ballroom when we find out about the Undertaker's true identity and that they're all fighting each other and stuff. And then we have, you know, the backstory between, you know, CL and Sebastian. That's a good chunk of the movie, really. I felt like that took up about like maybe the last 40 to 30 minutes, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like I hated it, but it's just Lizzie was pretty much out of the picture. Same with Snake.
And it was irritating because you can't just introduce an awesome character like that and then not give her more screen time. Like, I get it, you had more things to put in the movie, but I don't know, I just wish I got to see more because, you know, we find out just exactly how strong Lizzie is because she's the best swordsman in her whole family, like better than, not her full family, I guess better than her brother who's older than her. And she puts those skills to use, and she's not like this dainty little girl. Like, she like likes to do this sort of thing. Like, she isn't like killing or anything. She's just really good at her craft. And then when she's betrothed to when she finds out she's betrothed to CL, she realizes just how like much he's hurting, especially after the accident, and that she realized she's like, I gotta let him take the rope, so I'm gonna tone myself down and act like the cute little girl that I have to in order for CL to get through this, which I thought was like so strong. Like, she gave up being a badass for him. Like, that's awesome. That's so great.
Their scenes were really cute. Like, personally, I don't ship it still. I don't really ship CL with anyone else but me. But like,
yeah, needs to chill out because he's 11 and you're
he's
19.
13.
Okay, that's still wrong. That's still so. You're 19, my friend. No. Listen, look at me. It's wrong. I don't know if I ship it. I was leaning towards it. I maybe have to see a little more, but I'm getting there. I love shipping things.
Yeah, the relationship certainly has grown because of this encounter.
I love it.
They're absolutely adorable.
I love it. They're just two cute little children.
Exactly.
Love it. And, you know, then once she, like, cries because she, like, had to show her, because she had to save CL because his legs were broken or something, and she was, like, fighting the zombie herd, and, like, she, like, saves him, and she cries because she didn't want him to see that side of her, but, like, oh, it's amazing. But then, like, Sebastian breaks the tension because he starts laughing, and it's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. Ugh, I can't. Oh, I love him so much.
When we learn about why the Undertaker, who is the true villain of the movie, she'll get more into that later. When we find out about his plan as to why he's doing this, that was explained really well. Like, this could have been a very complicated and confusing process, but the way how it was shown to us visually and how it was explained to us was really well done. And this goes back to us earlier when we were saying how, like, the zombies are very unique. They're unique in multiple ways. First, they are not eating because for like brains and stuff like that, and if you are eaten, you are eaten. You are
it's
dead.
not like you get bit and then you're like a zombie. You're dead. You're just simply gone.
2, they swim.
Okay, that really got me messed up because it's like they escaped. They were on a boat. Sebastian was injured. I was like, all right, it's all good now. They're gonna get saved. And then the freaking zombie girl pops up like, yeah, and I was like, y'all swim, like.
They swim.
Like, what?
I had no idea they could swim.
What?
But the third thing, and the most important thing, is the fact that they are eating because they are trying to find a soul.
That is the most interesting and unique way I've ever seen a zombie being done because, you know, you get like typical zombies and stuff, and like these guys like, because Undertaker, the reason why they're even zombies is because Undertaker's curiosity was all like, what if after, you know how when Grim Reapers kill you, or like you're dead and they see your cinema, your life cinema, and it ends, he's like, what if I added my own manufactured ending to it? What would happen? So he like just put in like bullshit stuff of him like taking selfies or whatever, and he put them on their time cinema, and then the bodies thought they were alive, so they'd reanimate, but they're just really dolls and flesh moving. But they recognize that they're missing a piece of them, which is a soul and a heart. So they're looking for life sources. They'll bite you, and when they realize you're not a life source anymore, because that'll kill you, then they move on to another one, which is the most interesting thing, like, ever. Yeah, so I just thought that was so well done. Like, y'all could have confused the hell out of me, but like you didn't, and it was great, and I understood it, and it made sense.
Yeah. So Madison, I know you have a problem with Undertaker being the main villain.
What was that? Like, Undertaker, really? That is my boy. Like, I liked Undertaker. He was just a little funny idiot they went to for information. Like, you know, tell me a joke. And his like dumbass like voice, and I liked him. He was like a funny side character who was like interesting and stuff, because he was always kind of a little secretive, and like we already knew he was a Grim Reaper, but like I didn't know he retired. I didn't know that he was kind of a big deal around the Grim Reaper.
He was like properly like reintroduced, because when we first found out that he was a Reaper, that was in the anime original section.
Yeah.
So that's why they reintroduced, you know, Ronald Knox, and that's why they had to reintroduce the fact that Undertaker is a Reaper. But
yeah,
continue.
And I didn't like see him as a villain, because he like messed up my baby. He like, I can't.
It does seem to be hinting that he is somewhat involved, or at least knows more about the situation when it came to, you know, CL and like, you know, his family's death.
Maybe he's the one that took their souls after they died.
Perhaps, yeah.
Or not take their souls, watch their cinema. So.
It's hard to say, really. They don't give you much clues about that, but all you know is that he wanted to keep CL safe, and there's this like chain that he has, and CL took it, and he was just like,
no,
okay.
Yeah, just making sure you keep it safe. And CL like is keeping it, but he's not sure what the heck it is or what it represents. So hopefully there will be another season or another movie, you know, like
We'll take another OVA.
come on, like you gotta continue this, like we're on a roll, don't stop now on our account, like come on. We didn't notice this, but all Grim Reapers have green eyes and glasses. Like I did not notice that.
Yeah.
I did not realize that, but yeah, so I'm a Grim Reaper now.
Exactly, except they don't have green eyes. Basically, that is our review for Book of Atlantic. And just in case if you skipped the spoiler-free part, I said that my rating is an 8 out of 10, mainly for entertainment reasons, because Grell freaking slays, man. Oh my gosh.
My rating was a 9 out of 10 because the animation drops annoyed me, so I like had to deduct some points there, and I wanted more screen time for certain characters, but overall it was well needed.
Yeah.
We definitely needed that.
So I think the only way we can end this is with the little secret thing that we learned.
Phoenix. No, we're done. Oh, this is bad.
I'm sticking to Shays. Sayonara.
Peace.